Morning everyone and welcome to my channel. It's a gorgeous day today. It's lovely and sunny. I've had to shut the blind completely across because the sun is so low, but it's lovely to see. I've got Lexi in with me today and you might hear a bit of banging, bit of drilling right on cue, and the odd tapping. Not the next floor up. Is it the next floor up or the one after? But above us anyway, on one of the floors above, they're replacing some doors on what looks like a sort of storeroom or something. So they've been at it all day yesterday, proper headache making, because it echoes through the flats and it sounds like it's right above you, but it isn't actually. It's sort of above and across. But the sound travels really strangely here, so I'm going to try and make my video, and hopefully either it won't pick it up in the background or it won't pick it up too much, because otherwise I'll just be all day trying to make this video. And I thought, well, I'll give it a go and see what happens. So you might be wondering why you're looking at a blanket. No, I haven't sold all my dolls and the doll fairy hasn't come and taken them away or anything like that. I got something to show you, and I'm going to show you my Corvin sculpt by Sabine Altenkirche. Hope I've said it right, my apologies if I haven't. And I finished him yesterday. He was almost done, but he was a bit sort of too much of a yellow tone to him still, and I couldn't sort it out. So a bit of repainting and touching up, and he looks gorgeous now, I think. I'll show you now. So I've got the certificate, and he is 260 out of 750. So happy about that. Look at that little face. Like, he looks grumpy there, doesn't he? Like a grumpy. When I showed Herbie the kit, he said, oh, that drilling is driving me nuts. He said, oh, he looks gruesome. I don't know what he meant by gruesome. I think he meant, like, you know, he's not happy, because he likes the happy or placid looking ones. So that's that. So I don't do all the long-winded, this is its foot, because you know what a foot looks like, and you'll see my dolls over and over, so you'll see all different parts of them. So I'll show you a little bit sort of well dressed sort of thing. I didn't know the words then. I love the legs. Quiet Lexi, it's only some workman. I love the legs, look how bent they are. It reminds me of the Levi. It's really lovely. I really like that, because it just looks so realistic now he's put together. When I was painting him, I was thinking, oh, I haven't got one with legs like that. So I was wondering what I was going to look like, but now he's made, it works quite well. Oh, listen to that drilling. Oh my goodness me, 2 days of it we've had, and they didn't even tell us they were going to do it. They could have done. I could have bought some earplugs then. And then we'll get to the hands. So I'll do it a little bit like a traditional one. And he's got lovely hands. He's got one sort of closed. Can you see that? Bring it down a bit. One sort of closed. And then he's got one open with a cute little bent finger. Isn't that sweet? You might notice that I don't bother to tip the tiny one's nails. It's just personal preference. It's just so that I don't have to touch them up too much, and it's just for me. And if I do them on the tiny ones, it's so faint it barely notices anyway. So I don't like that manicure look. I do try and avoid it if possible, but sometimes it just comes out that way. And Narnia's a little bit like that, and one of the toddlers, I think, is Abby's, and I wasn't completely happy with it. And then here we go. Oh, so he's got the body on that comes with the kit. It's one of those ones with a gathered chest and the little bum. So he's got little buttocks. Look at that, isn't that lovely? Look at the curl up factor. Isn't that nice? I like the way the arms are bent as well. It's very, he's very like that. When you hold him, when you cuddle him, he's like that. He's lovely. And then here he is. Look at that. Like, what are you doing to me, Mum? He's got that perfect newborn baby. Oh, sorry, knocked the tripod with my toe. Newborn baby look, where it's like, oh, what's happening? I was all warm and safe and having a nice swim around. Well, not a swim around. They're all screwed up at the end, aren't they? but you know, I was nice and comfy and safe, and enjoying listening to voices through the water like you do under a bath, I always imagine. You know, when you're a kid and you put your head under the water in the bath, and then you can hear people downstairs and the telly and odd noises sometimes. And it just sounds like sort of muffly. I always imagine babies can hear like that. So if I turn his face down, he's baldy. Two reasons that most of my little ones are bald. I can root to a fashion. I can root so it's passable. But the baldness, because I had two thoughts on it. It started with Tristan. Tristan, I noticed, looked absolutely gorgeous in a hat, and I knew he was going to be a hat baby, and he was the first one of my babies that was a hat baby. And I didn't root his hair straight away. You know, I have said this before, but just in case you don't know. And then I did root him, and I spent ages rooting him, and it was a bit of a struggle. Because as you know, if you root, it takes hours and hours and hours, but also I've got arthritis in my hands. So it took me a long time. And then when he was done, he looked fine. It was fine that he'd had hair. You know, I wanted to make him all perfect as possible, because as you know, I adore my Tristan. But then now it's always covered up with a hat. Because he never ever wears, it's very rare that he's ever seen without a hat, because for one, he looks really different, and for two, I just love him in hats. And I've often thought to myself, you know, I could have actually not gone through all that trouble, all those hours, and rooted him, and just put a hat on him, and he would have been absolutely fine, because he's mine anyway, so obviously I can have him as I like. And then I made Scarlet, and I ummed and ahed then, because obviously Scarlet is Tristan's sister in real life, so they're similar-ish looking. And I looked at her as well, and I thought, you know, she looks lovely in a hat as well. So I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll leave the rooting. I can always go back and do it, and leave her bald for now and put hats on. And that's how she stayed. And then I made Grace, left her bald, and now I've left this one bald. Ethan Henry is bald, because I love the hats. So I don't see the point in me struggling to root them unless I really want to. And then, you know, I'm going to put a hat on them all the time, because they're just going to look how you see them, aren't they? They're never going to look any different. And also then it's low maintenance as well, which I love. Baldy, no fuss, low maintenance. And it always looks nice. Because Tristan wears hats all the time, I have to go in about once a week and give his hair a brush and condition and a spray or whatever it needs, because he's got a hat on all the time, and it makes it go all bunched up and not matted as such, but it's all over the place, and it's horrible, and it's you know, it's just not very nice. So that's why I've been leaving him bald, and it works really well for me. I'm quite happy with it. I don't obviously the other option is painted hair, but I've only ever done one with painted hair, and that was Tegan's little boy, because she wanted painted hair, and I had to go at that for her, and she was happy with it. And it's passable. I've seen worse, but I just think it's just the same thing. I'd just be putting a hat on it. So I just leave it as is. But I'm loving this little one. I went through all the things as you do when you're making them. Oh, I don't know, have I done it right? As soon as I changed the colour, yesterday I changed the colour, and then it was fine then. I took some of the blushing back off his nose, because I'd done a bit too much, and I changed the blushing on his cheeks to a different colour, and I just changed it all around basically, and lightened his lips a little bit. I would have liked them just slightly lighter than what they are, but I couldn't seem to get it to work somehow, so I left it, because if you try too hard to keep making something right and change it, you know, then it doesn't work then, and you don't want to get tired of the sculpt. He has got that frowny, inquisitive face that a newborn has, so I didn't want to accentuate his eyebrows, you know, they like the frown, because I didn't want to make him look angry or too, like on this one, look, he looks angry, because he's red, which is a sign of anger, isn't it? And also she's emphasised just slightly, it's not too bad actually, but she's emphasised just slightly the frown and drawn attention. I think it's the red more than anything, and the way he's looking sideways, so he looks angry, whereas you want beautifully painted but just looks a bit cross. And I wanted that him to be looking at me, so he's got like the very, very slightly crossed eyes, so that he looks, when you're looking at him, he looks like he's looking right at you. I don't know if I can get it on the camera, but can you see that? He looks like he's looking right at you because the eyes are focused. I saw, I don't know who it was a channel, and the name escapes me, but she does tutorials. It's a similar name to Baby Doll Love, but it's not Baby Doll Love, but it's a similar name to that. I'll have to see if I can find it and put it underneath. But I think it was her that said that when you place the eyes, to have a light or something, and then when the light is in the centre of each eye, or evenly in each eye, something like that it was, she said, that then you know your eyes are even, you know, the pupil and all the rest of it, and they're facing you. And I sort of look at that, I look at it a little bit with the light on behind me in the room, and then I always, like for him, I then turned him very, very slightly in, a tiny bit more, so that he looked like he's trying to focus at me and look like he's looking at me. And I think I just about pulled it off. I think he looks fine. So he's got lovely, like, peaches and cream skin tone. It's absolutely lovely. I didn't want him too dark. Some of my babies are a bit darker, but I didn't want him too dark. And so this one. And his mottling is nice. It's scratched you then, subtle, and it's just, I wanted to try and I wanted him newborn, but I didn't want him like I've just come out of the womb newborn. You know, that purpley sometimes they look, and that kind of thing. And he's got a lovely shaped head. Look at that. I like this bit. Can you see it on the... Oh, I'll just think. He's got like a mound there. Can you see? It goes up on the top. And that reminds me of my grandson, Michael, when he was born. In fact, if I put baby pictures together, he probably doesn't look like him, but he does remind me of my grandson, Michael, when he was born. He has a similar look. Similar shaped face, I think, and a similar look to Michael. Similar nose, actually, as well. Yeah, he is quite similar, but don't tell my son, because you'll be like, no, he doesn't. Not one of your weird dolls. But he does remind me of him a little bit, but he had lots of dark hair. And his sister, Evie, had hair like her dad, just a big mop, a mass of really thick black hair. Gorgeous. So there you go. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? That's what you want in a gorgeous cuddly baby. So I hope you like him. Hope you enjoyed seeing him today. Doesn't it look nice in the blue? So I'm really pleased with him. He's lovely. I wasn't sure for a while. I thought it was going to be a sculpt that I was going to struggle with, because I wanted to get the expression and the colour right. But I think he's okay now. You have to give yourself a few days, don't you? If you make them, you have to give yourself a little while to live with them before you stop seeing the thing that you just made and start seeing it in its own value, if you see what I mean. Because when you make something, like with this one, I spent about 20 hours painting him, and it took me over 3 days just working solidly on him. I really wanted to get him done after waiting so long for him and all the fuss and all the rest of it. And obviously, as you know, I was worried that when he was done I wouldn't feel the same about him, but I love him. And I'm not always the greatest fan of open-eyed kits. I've often found that I like them, and then when I paint them and everything, they don't resonate with me the same. But this one is gorgeous. He has to be open-eyed, doesn't he? Because otherwise the expression just wouldn't work. And he's beautiful. I said gorgeous sculpt, lovely vinyl to paint. I didn't have any trouble with the paint. I think more trouble I had was the fact that I using my new craft room now, and the light is different, and I think that's what caused my problems. Even though I've got a daylight lamp and that kind of thing, it's working in a different space, isn't it? So I know now that if I paint any more, well, I'm hoping for just one more now, aren't I? But when I paint that one, oops, lost my balance. I moved my feet, forgot to move my second one. Oh, there goes a siren. That when I paint that one, I know now to better how to mix the colours, and to allow for the light that's available, and to keep checking it in natural light. Go right by the window and have a good check. It's all right, Lex, I'll let you out now in a minute. So Lexi's getting fed up, as you can hear. She wants to go out. She can hear all the noises. She doesn't understand where these noises are coming from. Quiet. So we'll say bye for now. So did I say his name? I can't remember. His name is Ethan Henry. It's a name I've had in mind for a reborn for a long time, many years, and but it's one of those names that I collected, but I've never had the baby that I thought they would be suitable for, and I just think he suits it. So he's one of the about 3 in my nursery that have got names that aren't actually related to anybody. Or no, it's not actually, because that's a fib. I just told a fib. I was thinking, family names and things like that, but they're not actually. I think he might be the only one that's got a name that isn't related to anything, and it's just a name I liked. Oh, apart from Narnia, that's the other one. I knew there would be one, but apart from Narnia, he is the only one that's got a name that I just chose because I liked it for the sculpt. So there's me rambling. So we're on 16 minutes, coming up to 17. So I'll leave it there for now. I hope you like him, and I hope you've enjoyed looking at him. It's a beautiful sculpt, isn't it? And take care, everyone. Take care of yourselves and each other, and we shall be back soon. Bye for now. Bye. Take care.